Welcome, youth leadership students, to the Great Discovery. I'm going to lead you through a flipped classroom version of the Great Discovery, and it's in our 7 Habits books. It's a fun activity designed to help you get in touch with your deeper self as you prepare to write a mission statement about yourself. As you walk through it, you need to answer the questions honestly. You can write down your answers on this sheet of paper that you will be getting if you'd like, or if you feel like writing. If you don't feel like writing your answers down, just think through them. When you're finished, I think you'll have a better idea of what inspires you, of what you enjoy doing, whom you admire, and where you want to take your life. So here we go. First, we're going to start with think of a person who has made a positive difference in your life. What qualities does that person have that you would like to develop? So who has made a positive difference? Maybe it's a parent, your parent. Maybe it's a teacher. Maybe it's somebody that you see on a daily basis. Now, it might be a sibling. Make sure if it's an older sibling that, what qualities do they have that you would like to develop? And the qualities could be, maybe the way that that they are with people, or maybe it's the way that they make you feel, how comfortable they make you feel. It's all up to you about what qualities do you want to develop that this person that you admire develops. Next, we move on to imagine yourself in 20 years. You are surrounded by the most important people in your life. Who are they and what are they doing? So 20 years from now, most of you will be in your 30s. Remember, we did the magazine article the first week of class, and it was, what do you see yourself doing in 20 years? So who are the people around you in 20 years from now? Think really hard. You will be in your 32, 33. Some of you will be around 31 maybe. So who are they? Who are those people? And what are you doing? So that should go back to the magazine article that you did. So moving right along to question 3 to help you define your great discovery. If a steel beam were placed across 2 skyscrapers, for what would you be willing to cross? $1,000? $1 million? Your pet? Your brother? Fame? Think carefully. So think about a steel beam, 6 inches wide. Look down at the floor, and those are 12-inch tiles here in the classroom. So that would be half of that width in the classroom, 6 inches, and it's along 2 skyscrapers. We hardly ever see, we don't really have any skyscrapers here in Seguin, but think about going to San Antonio and those tall buildings, downtown San Antonio. What would you cross for? Would you cross for 1,000, $1 million, your pet, brother? Think carefully on that one. What will it be? And next we're going to go to number 4. If you could spend one day in a great library studying anything you wanted, what would you study? So you could, if it were a library, maybe the LBJ one in Austin, which is a huge library, it's a presidential one, or maybe even one in San Antonio, or even the one here in Seguin. What would you study? If you could study anything, what would you want to study? And then we're moving right along with those footsteps. List 10 things you love to do. It could be singing, dancing, looking at magazines, drawing, reading, daydreaming, anything you absolutely love to do. Maybe you like to do things outdoors. So think about what you like to do outside. I know some of you like skateboarding. What about some of the sports that you play? What do you love to do? And I know most of you can talk about talking to your friends, because for most of you, that's a big part of your life. We're moving on. Number 6. List a time when you were deeply inspired. Now, in order to answer this, you have to really know what inspired is. That would be, when have you really felt like, I understand that? And maybe it's a teacher. Maybe it's somebody that does something that's very talented. It's somebody that inspires you, that really, really makes you want to do better. And next, we're moving on to number 7. If you could spend an hour with any person who ever lived, who would it be? Why that person? And what would you ask that person? So, any person in this world, they can be living, they can be dead, but why would it be that person? And what are you going to ask them? What kind of questions? I want you to write down some questions of what you would ask them. So that's question number 7. Next, we're trailing on. I'm going to flip the page. We've got number 8. 5 years from now, your local newspaper, the Seguin Gazette, does a story about you, and they want to interview 3 people. A parent, a brother, a sister, a friend, maybe even a teacher. What would you want them to say about you? Maybe it's your grandma, grandpa. What do you want them to say about you? 5 years from now, you're going to be a junior in high school. What are they going to say? What's going on? What's going on 5 years from now? Next, we have, think of something that represents you. What represents you? A rose, a song, an animal? What would represent you? And why does it? I know for me, what would represent me would be a book. I love reading books. Most of the time you see me with a book in my hand as a teacher, because I usually have that 7 Habits book in my hand. What represents you? And then we've got the last page. And this is in your 7 Habits book, just in case you don't write everything down yet. And I'm going to give you this exact same sheet. Everyone has 1 or more talents. What are your talents? Use the ones listed above or write your own. So look at all the ones that are listed. Do you like math? That would be numbers or words. Your English language arts. You like to read. What are your talents? I want you to think about at least 5 talents, because you are so talented. And I know that you can think of at least 5 talents. So that is a great discovery activity. You're going to work on it for the next day or 2 class periods. And by the end, you will have a better idea of what your personal mission statement is. And we will talk more about that in class. And we'll also be building our bucket list from this, because all of Habit 2 is beginning with the end in mind. Where do you see your future? You are in control of your own destiny. Where are you going? Because if you don't know where you're going, someone else might take you, and you might go somewhere that you don't want to go. So that's why you need a personal mission statement. Where do you see yourself? Thanks for listening. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.